Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be updating you guys on that upcoming Arctic blast after this warm-up is all said and done, and we're also going to talk about how pretty much the rest of November could go down as an overall colder pattern. Anyways, before we get into things, be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. For today's comment of the day, I want to know, do you think November overall, from November 1st till the very end, will go down as a colder month in the east or a warmer month in the east? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Let's get straight into this video, and first things first, we're taking a look at how the first 5 days of November went, and as you can see, things have pretty much for that time period been overall colder than normal for the eastern half of the country, even some far below normal temperatures there in the greens. That's going to be about 10 to 15 degrees below normal over a 5-day period, which is quite significant to say the least. Out west overall things were warmer, so this is a classic cold in the east, warm in the west pattern. We see it all the time. Now here is the past 5 days, so basically the 5th through the 10th, or sorry, this is actually the 6th through the 11th. It is the 11th today, so it makes things a little bit more difficult. But as you can see, overall, things have been neutral in the east. We do see some warmer temperatures there for the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes overall as far as the eastern half goes. And a bit colder there for the west coast, but overall the plains and then the Rockies have been warmer than normal. Let's take a look at how this morning is going to go. And as you can see, those warmer temperatures have really set in for the eastern United States as of today. It's actually 46 right now in Virginia, but things are going to be progressively warming up as we head towards the high temperatures today and also tomorrow. But it's going to be very, very short-lived. As obviously I said in the beginning of this video, we have an Arctic blast on the way to the eastern half of the country. Notice there's warm temperatures out west as well, which means that is a positive PNA, which does typically encourage colder temperatures to head to the central and eastern United States. We're going to see that happen very shortly, actually. Here's 2 a.m. on November 12th, which is going to be Friday or tomorrow from the time I'm making this video. And as you can see, that warm-up really surges there for the eastern United States, but we begin to see some colder temperatures moving in there for the central United States. This is going to be the end of that warm-up, and it's very, very evident by the time we're reaching 2 a.m. on Saturday, November 13th. Look at that. Plenty of blues and greens showing up for the central United States, and you can tell it's racing eastward. We have more near normal conditions for the eastern coast of the United States, but still warm out west, which is going to encourage this colder air to really build into the eastern United States. And we're going to see that happen in a moment. But what we're going to do is we're going to move on. We're going to take a look at all of those things. We're going to see this Arctic blast shove its way in, and we're also going to watch, multiple cooldowns over the next 10 days or so as well. So we're going to move on and take a look at all of those things. Now, this is by the time we're reaching about 8 p.m. here on Saturday, November 13th. And as you can see, those greens really show up for the Gulf states. And overall, a lot of the southern United States there in the eastern half of the country, I would say, 10 to 15 degrees below normal for all of those green regions. So far below normal temperatures, still warm in the west, which means this pattern is really going to try to build in and actually stay in place for quite a while. 8 p.m. on Sunday here. It's a lot of the same. It's a little bit less potent, but cold overall for the eastern half of the country still. Again, the darker blues and the greens are going to be your furthest below normal here, whereas the lighter blues are going to feel a lot closer to what is typical for your region during this time of year. All right, now let's take this towards about 2 p.m. here on Monday, November 15th. And as you can see, we see those greens showing up here for a lot of the eastern half of the country. We see the darker blues, which again is still quite significantly below normal as well. So we see this widespread cool down for the eastern United States still around. So as you can tell, a majority of this month by this point will have gone down as a colder than normal pattern for the eastern United States. A very brief warm-up is on the way, and that's going to be followed up by a very long-lived cool down. So it seems like cold is overall winning out in this pattern, which is not something I could say about September or October. So for the first time this fall, it seems like things are favoring a colder than normal pattern overall. We see the warmth out west is getting very extreme by this point. The darker reds are going to be anywhere from about 10 to 15 degrees above normal. And then we see kind of those browns showing up, and that's going to be closer to 20 to 30 degrees above normal, which is obviously very significant. So yes, that huge warm up out west is going to help encourage this cool down in the east overall. Now let's go ahead and take a look at about 2 p.m. on Tuesday, November 16th. And as you can see, those very far below normal temperatures are still around here for the eastern fourth of the country, I would say by this point, but it's still around. But we're seeing some colder temperatures try to build into the northwestern United States by this point. That could be the early signs of a negative PNA trying to return, which would, in fact, actually cause below normal temperatures to really build in for the west and above normal temperatures to build in for the east. So could this be the catalyst that ends this pattern we've been looking at? Only time will be able to tell. So what we're going to do is we're going to move on, and we're going to move on towards the 18th, the 19th, the 20th as well. And then we're going to take a look at some teleconnections. We're going to see what ends up happening. Will this cooldown end or will it build back in? Stay tuned. Now, this is by the time we're reaching about 2 a.m. on Thursday, November 18th, or a week from the time I'm making this video. As you can see, warmer temperatures have returned for the east. That negative PNA is really setting in. We see far below normal temperatures there for the Rockies and other western regions as well. And it looks like all hope is lost for a colder than normal pattern beyond this point. But not so fast. Because by the time we're reaching about 8 p.m., just that evening on Thursday, November 18th, you can see that a massive cooldown is heading eastward. It's in the central United States now, and it's racing towards the east. We do see that warm-up still surging for the eastern seaboard, but that will be short-lived because by the time we're reaching Friday, November 19th, this is going to be about 2 p.m. here on Friday. You can see that far below normal temperatures, we're talking about 10 to 15 or even more degrees below normal, are setting in for these green regions especially, but even some of the darker blue regions as well, as warm temperatures return out west. Here's what the actual temperatures could look like on that high temperature for Friday, November 19th, if this type of a temperature pattern was to set in. 40s widespread. It's very seldom to find any 50s in here. You have to go very far south or very far southeast to even find 50s as high temperatures here. But generally, we see mostly 40s for the eastern seaboard and a lot of the middle to northern parts of the Gulf states. And then we see plenty of 30s there for those brighter blue shades for the Ohio Valley, the interior northeastern United States, and even 20s there for the upper Midwest areas like Minnesota and Wisconsin, and even some of the mountainous regions there of West Virginia, Maryland, and Pennsylvania, dealing with some 20s as the high temperatures on Friday, November 19th, if that type of pattern was to set in. So yes, this would be very significant, more like January as opposed to November. And as we head even further into this, you can see by the time we're reaching 2 p.m. on Saturday, November 20th, so 9 days from now, it still looks like we would be in a cold pattern by that point. Super interesting stuff. I know a lot of people are hoping for a pattern like this. And by the way, our Arctic oscillation, which in its negative phase encourages Arctic air to head into the United States, is trending negative. I talked about this in a previous video about a week ago or so, that this would be trending negative. We can see that little pop positive there in the shorter range. That's going to be approximately Monday or Tuesday, but it very quickly heads back towards negative. And that green line is your mean average, and it stays negative all the way through the end of November. So that would be super interesting if we get an overall negative AO pattern for a majority of the month of the rest of November, basically. And our PNA in its positive phase means cold temperatures in the east, warm temperatures in the west, basically. And the opposite in its negative. We would see colder in the west, warmer in the east, and a negative. As you can see, we stay positive. We're very positive right now. We stay positive up until about the 16th, where we go negative for like 3 days. And then we go back positive towards the end of the month. So overall, negative AO, positive PNA for a majority of the rest of the month of November. For today's confidence tab, we're at a 4 out of 6. We went pretty long range, so we're at about a 50 or 60% confidence. For today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, what state do you think is going to see the most snowfall with that snowstorm that is currently ongoing? And James Marr said, I believe northern Minnesota will see the most snowfall, and I do agree at this point. For today's Patron Highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our Platinum patrons, Bill Crates, James Wade, Dovey Nagel, Little the Pan, Mandy Birchfield, Patrick Strickland as well. I'd also like to thank our Diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Codalesa, Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Cindy Klein, Alan Goodmaben, Bill Dallas, Gary, John Calisi, Dwight Phelan, Stephen Crudenthal, and Thomas D. Barr as well. I'd also like to thank our channel members, Catbite, Stephen Fan, and Jeremy Cox also. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.